Up, everybody. Happy Saturday. Tonight, excuse me, NXT Deadline, Peacock, 8 p.m. Sure, the kickoff show. I'll be on at 7, just so they can go over the rules to the Iron Survivor Challenges a million times, which is why I'm not going to do that here because I know we're going to hear it enough on the pre show and then during the show. And it's kind of going to be at nauseum at that point, but I'm excited to see what they could do, live and in living color. Minds behind it. I could trust them to make appropriate decisions as if it's going to be good or not. And I mean, it sounds very different. So I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good night. I think they have a bunch of good matches set up for everybody on the card. And I'm going to break down everyone in the Iron Survivor and what I think what their chances are. Because there's some that I'm wondering why they're even in the match. Again, could just be me, but should be a really good night. We get to see Alba Fire versus Isla Dawn. I just don't see Isla losing. As they just brought her over here, she just cost Alba the championship, throwing her off that ladder. I don't see how she can come over here and lose. Again, I never watched NXT UK really. It's just timing wise when it was on compared to everything else I'd do in life. I never got to see it, so I really didn't, except for a few times. I haven't got to really see anything that she's done, so I'm really excited to see that. But really, I mean, it comes down to if you guys comment, let me know what you think. I don't see a way where Alba wins just because they brought her over. They had her cost her the championship. I mean, it's Isla's turn. It just makes sense for her to win this one, and they can keep, dragging it out because that's what they do. And if you're gonna send anyone, I mean, they can call it Alba Fire. I'm gonna say if you're gonna send someone to work, someone work with Kaylee Ray. I'll just go there because she is good. She's really, really good. So I think it'll be a good match. So I think it'll steal the show. No, but I think it's still a really good one. Again, I think it's a very solid, card for the night for what they have going on there. They didn't try to put too much on there, which is sometimes a problem. But I got Isla in that one. Pretty Deadly versus New Day NXT tag titles. I would love to see Pretty Deadly lose. We all know that. They just hurt my head incessantly. I think it's the Yeah Boys. I think that's what actually, truly hurts my head. So hopefully they lose to the New Day. And the New Day can have, then say they held all the gold, in the tag division for the company. I just don't see them doing it, but I see it being a hell of a match. Like, I think they're going to deliver on that. I think that's just helping get more eyeballs on it when they put them on there. But who else Pretty Deadly have to work with too? Like, that's a real problem there as well. So we could see them possibly lose. I don't know. Maybe they'll go back in NXT. UK is done, but it's NXT Europe. Maybe they'll go back over there so they could have those guys there. But I don't see them losing tonight. Sadly, any you New Day fans, I'm sorry, but we all have to admit it just doesn't feel like it's gonna happen. But gonna be a good match, just like Apollo Crews versus Braun Breaker NXT Championship. I think that's gonna be great. It's about time, just to see Apollo actually get to work with, something for more than 10 minutes and actually try to build some kind of character, no matter if you liked it or not. Until he was, royalty and had the stupid accent, he didn't have a character for years. I think he was only in NXT for a couple months. His first stint, like he was there, he had a match, he was gone. It felt that quick and he didn't get to do anything. And I thought that they did him dirty because then they didn't know what to do with him and they barely used him in anything meaningful for more than a few seconds here and there. And, look what he got for it. Sent back down. I think him going to NXT was great. I think, it lets everyone, see how, athletic he really is. It lets him work with the young talent, it lets him build character and something he can use. Do I see him winning tonight? No. I just don't see that one. No offense, but this doesn't feel like the right show for him to do it, or the momentum. And with the Iron Survivor, yeah, number one contender thing going on, I just don't see them doing it. Down the road, yeah, I could see him being the one, yeah, to dethrone him and do all that. I just don't think tonight is going to be that night. But I think it's going to be a great match just because, Apollo's, freak athlete. He's got, he's so strong and stocky, but he's also so athletic and can do so many different things. So I think it'll be a good change of pace just from, the amount of people that we've seen Braun working with, especially like the JDs over and over again. Like this will be another new one. And I think that's great for Braun. And I just can't see him not walking out, maybe down the road. It just doesn't feel like the right weekend. Feels like they, still have more they want to do with him, and there's probably more that he still needs to do, talking wise and all kinds of things. So not tonight. It's gonna be very exciting to see, though, because again, I'm sorry for clearing my throat so much. I don't know what it is. It's perfectly fine all morning. Then I start doing this. Suddenly I can't get to 12 words, but it should be a very exciting thing. And I think they put together for having the two, 25-minute Iron Survivor matches. I think that they put together a solid card, around that. With again, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Pretty Deadly, New Day, Braun and Apollo. Like that's a solid card to have around these two matches. That there is so much intrigue and no one knows about. And we hope it doesn't suck and all that. So they did a really good job setting that up. Whoever did it, it's just enough, where we're okay, and it's not going to be a super long night. Hopefully, those other three matches though, don't get shortened because you think about it, entrances and just the 25-minute match in of itself. That's going to be well over an hour process for those two. So hopefully, no one gets like a 5-10 minute match in there, and we get to see them go along and have it in the time allotted, especially with New Day on the card. I mean, a New Day on the card and Braun defending the title against Apollo. Hopefully that means Alba and Isla don't get, the short end of it. But regardless, I think they're all going to be pretty good matches. And again, I'm excited to see what Isla Dawn can do because I haven't seen her just because NXT UK was on the middle of the day and I was always, doing other things like normal people. And then by the time night rolled around, I was doing other things like normal people. But very exciting. Gets us to the women's Iron Survivor match. Again, I'm intrigued by it. On paper and hearing it out loud, it sounds like a really, cool and different concept. I'm gonna break this down by person in the match, but we got Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Zoe Stark, Kiana James, and Indy Hartwell. Winner becomes number one contender for Mandy Rose's NXT Women's Championship. And there's some in here that I just don't. But start off with Roxanne, going right down the list. I could see her at least winning it because of how they've been building her back. Since the everything with Cora and the matches that they had and the match she has had with Indy and all, like I could see them at least having her win, having another, swing at it now that Cora's not in the picture. And that's a big positive. Like it makes sense because how that ended, the momentum that they've been building with her, the matches that she's been, having when we see her, I could see her and Mandy going at it again. Her taking the build off of Mandy at some point would make sense if they thought Mandy and Toxic was ready for the main roster to show an actual like group of three women put together that can, take over. No offense to Damage Control, but it's just not it. It's not working. And that song absolutely sucks. But whenever they're ready for that, because I know they're going to send them all up together, it just wouldn't make any sense. Send them without Mandy or send Mandy without them. Like that's the package deal. That's the thing. And Triple H is in charge, so I don't see it doing it. Um, I don't, again, and this would be this one. So the next one isn't until, February, and then obviously Stand and Deliver. So I could, see it like just think in your head. Roxanne wins. Toxic Attraction gets involved at, Vengeance Day. She gets her shot at Stand and Deliver with them gone. She gets it. And we move on from that. Like I could actually honestly see, that happen as a passing of the torch to get Mandy and them on the main roster. And it makes a lot of sense. It really does. And they had them win in the women's tag title tournament until, Gigi got hurt. So obviously, they have something in them. It's just we got to see. I think right now, no, I say, what, 5 months, 4.5, 5 months, whatever we are from WrestleMania. Yeah. I can see that one making sense to have that for there to pass the torch from Mandy to, you know, the official, NXT 2.0 as it was, that cast of wrestlers and characters and stuff. I see that making some of the most sense in this entire match. Well, time will tell, but no one can say that her winning doesn't make sense if you just think big picture. And that's what I'm trying to do with all this big picture. Down the road, it makes sense. Nothing we can do about it. Whether you like it or not, it does make absolute sense. And again, it was only that one time before, stupid happened and all of that and, the betrayal. So who knows? But that one makes sense. Cora, I continuously push her there, but, I just don't think it's going to be her night. I have, if she wins, I would actually be frighteningly like surprised if they had Cora win. No offense to Cora, but we see it a million times. And I don't think that, while they're doing, trying to build her, the generation of Jade, it wouldn't make sense to me. I think it would be a bad move. So we'll see, but I don't see that one happening. Zoe Stark, everyone's been praising her to death. All the whole character change. It's what she needed. It really does work for her better than Happy Smiley. I'm just happy to be here. Sorry, Happy Smiley. I'm just happy to be here. It doesn't work for most people. No offense to any of them. Um, her winning would not surprise me. Do I think she will? Hell nah. Would it surprise me? That'd be a no again. Just because the way they've been pushing it, like it would make sense. I think that I need her, have one more feud in between, getting it, before she gets, that just to keep building this character. Or again, I don't think her and Nikita are done, so I think something like that might happen tonight. We'll see, but we could all see that one happening too. So, because I just the way it went, I don't see that one being over yet, and then I see them having their great crescendo down the road, stand and deliver or something just to finish off that feud there. But if she did win, compared to the next lady I'm going to talk about, or Cora even, it at least makes sense to me personally. Again, comment, tell me what you think. I'm just trying to have things make sense. I don't think that's too much to ask. But Kiana James, not even sure why she's in the match in the first place. Literally, what has she done? Like she beat Fallon Henley in a good match. It was just a garbage ending that someone wrote for them. It's not their fault. But we had that. But what else has she done? Like, she hasn't won a lot. She hasn't been, pushed a lot. She's just doing all that weird stuff. So if she won, my head might actually explode or just fall off, because that just wouldn't make any sense. And I thought there were people that, it being in the match made more sense than her. I mean, it gives her a shot. And I guess we'll see what she can really do. I just don't get why she's in this situation in this match again. Hopefully, I mean, I'm sure she'll prove me wrong, but it's just weird to me. And then Indy Hartwell, the push she's been getting, how much trash she was talking to Mandy. I could see her winning it somehow, just because of one thing. I mean, we already saw Mandy and Roxanne, and Mandy and Cora, Mandy and Zoe. Like, we've seen all these things. We haven't seen Indy. I mean, they've given her this new attitude. She's talking, standing up for herself, having really good matches with people. I could see it just because it's completely different. And then they can move on to something else after that. To have a big, house tearing down again. What I just said about Roxanne. Now we're moving on to Indy. I could see. I don't see it. Her winning the title off of Mandy though. That's the problem with it for me. They haven't done enough. To build her fully enough for anyone to believe that she could be, the one to finally dethrone Mandy. Granted, there's a lot of time between now and then, and they can continue to build her because I thought they'd be doing a stellar job lately building her. I think we can all agree on that one. So there's time for them to get it, and her winning would not surprise me at all. I don't see her to being the one to dethrone Mandy finally again, unless they keep building her. My opinion will change. I thought they've done a lot better recently, but do I think that she would beat her now? Do I think she has a good chance in this one? Yeah, I do. I think she's going to show herself very well again after being misused for so long. Like, Sorry, I was still on Vince for making her sit there and just look at her finger like she was heartbroken because he left her, even though Vince called him up to the main. Vince fired his ass, and then made her play the heartbroken "Why did he leave me" card. Like, that was just bad. But it'll be a good match. Again, Roxanne makes the most sense, and then Indy is behind there, just just because we've seen the other. I always saw him at Roxanne too, but that was a long time ago. She's come a long way, and I don't know why Kiana James is in the match, but we shall see. I still think we might see Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark somehow, because I don't think that's not it's not over, not yet by a long shot. Gets us to the men's Iron Survivor match again. Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, Joe Gacy, JD McDonough, and Axiom. Start out with Carmelo Hayes. I could see him winning, but I'm not ready. He's actually ready for that jump. And when as weird as that might sound, like it even sounds weird to me when I typed it when I'm saying it now, but I honestly don't. Like, you look at him next to Braun. I mean, maybe I'll tell good stories and do good stuff, but him and that North American title, and the people that he works with there as compared to there, like, it's just a better fit. You can hate on me all you want. I know there's a lot of Carmelo people out there, but like, it just doesn't make sense in my head to see, you look at him with, NXT championship. It just doesn't feel right. Like, just inside as a wrestling fan. And guess what? I think he's a great athlete. I think he can talk. I think Trick Williams hurts my head, which is what he's supposed to do. The North American title makes so much more sense from just his build, his style, like the matches he can have. I'm not saying he won't win. I'm not saying he won't be a champion one day. I don't know. It doesn't feel right now to me. What else will I do with him? Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of people. You just go out there and have great matches, but I just don't see it. Comment me your thoughts, but I don't see it. Grayson Waller, I hope it isn't him. I don't think he has any momentum going anyway, so I don't think it'll be him at all. Shouldn't be anywhere near winning the match. Gacy, I don't think so. Even if he's had the change and has the whole schism now, since well, he has everything, and the whole change in character. We saw him with Braun a few times already, though. That's why I don't think we'll see it. This time, and I don't think he's the guy that would dethrone Braun anyway. I don't think it's going to happen here soon, but I don't think Gacy's there yet. I could be wrong, but I see him having a better chance of winning than Grayson Waller or Carmelo. JD McDonough makes more sense than most of them. That's because JD McDonough, we all know what he's done both in UK and since he's been here to the States. Do I see them having him go after him again already after that many months straight? No. I think that would just hurt people's head. But him being down the road to dethrone Braun makes sense. You think about it. Unless they're going to have him keep doing this, lose, and then go back home. Braun sticks around for a while. There's all these options. But when you listen to this list, I mean, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, Joe Gacy, JD McDonough, Axiom. JD's the one that makes sense. We'll see what they do with it. I mean, granted, he could, they start NXT Europe and boom, bang, right to it. And he can go over there so they can have him as one of their attractions again, and none of this can matter. So, got to see how it all works out, but it does make sense regardless. And we can see him, defeating Braun and then working with all the young guys while Braun moves up to the main roster, even though I'm not sure how fast that's going to happen now that Vince is gone, which I think is for the better. But he makes sense the most. And then Axiom, I'm intrigued to see what he could do in the match. I think it'll be good. He doesn't have a snowflake's chance in hell. He's not going to win. Sorry. It'd be good to see what he could do. It'd be good to, show what he can do. Not winning. Not going to happen. My head would fall off on that one too, but we'll see. And I think the Iron Survivor matches are going to be, I think they're going to deliver because the matches, just because who put it together. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow along on YouTube for all of the shorts and everything that I do in between when I'm not doing full episodes. I'm going to start writing on Substack for the show. So if you're on there, find it. And until tomorrow for the post, peace.